Yeah. In my last video, I looked at 5 important pointers to consider when choosing a theory for your study. So if you missed that one, you can search for it in my profile. This particular video is all about structure, specifically how to structure your paragraphs when you are discussing the theory in your literature review. So if you've ever wondered how to properly write about a theory without sounding vague or disorganized, this video is for you. Let's get into it. So when you are writing about a theory in your literature review, your discussion should ideally be broken down into 5 focused paragraphs. So think of each paragraph as doing one clear job. Let me begin by saying that I will be using the social identity theory as an example. So in the first paragraph, you focus on the topic sentence. You start by naming the theory and its originator. So as an example, you can write it this way. Social identity theory developed by Tifel and Turner explains how individuals derive parts of their identity from the social groups they belong to. This tells your reader exactly what theory you are working with and who developed it. In the second paragraph, you explain the key concepts or assumptions of the theory. So you break down what the theory is about, what are its main ideas or assumptions. So for example, you can write it this way. At its core, the theory posits that people categorize themselves and others into groups, leading to in-group favoritism and out-group discrimination. In the third paragraph, you focus on the application. So here you explain how the theory has been applied in previous studies. You may want to prove that the theory has been used in the real world, how other researchers have used it in studies similar to yours. So you can write it this way. So this theory has been widely applied in educational and organizational contexts to explore issues such as group dynamics, discrimination, and intergroup conflict. For instance, in the context of immigrant student integration, SIT has been used to explain how cultural identity influences feelings of belonging and academic engagement. So per the description given, you can see that it demonstrates that the theory has academic credibility and relevance to the field. In the fourth paragraph, that is where you critique or make comparison. No theory is perfect. So in this paragraph, you will present any known criticisms or even compare it briefly with a competing theory. So for example, you can write it this way. However, some critics argue that the theory focuses too much on group differences and doesn't pay attention to people's individual choices and actions. So this shows critical thinking and that you are aware of the different perspectives. In the fifth paragraph, you will link the theory to your study. So here, you will discuss the relevance of the theory to your study, how it will guide your analysis or help frame your arguments. So for example, you can write it this way. Despite this, SIT provides a valuable lens through which to examine the identity negotiations of migrant students in multicultural educational settings, making it highly relevant to the study's focus on linguistic and cultural barriers. And the research question was to identify the linguistic and cultural barriers. So you can see that I have linked the theory to the research question. Yeah, so this is how you can structure your paragraphs when discussing the theory of your study. I believe you found this one useful. See you in the next one.